Hey guys, John here. Uh, Life-changing thoughts. God blessed me with Crohn's disease and a heart attack, not so I can live mediocre, but that I could live life. And living life is not about survival. Living life is doing what matters the most to get the most out of life. And we might look on surface levels and think, well, what matters the most? Oh, a nice fancy car, a nice big house, a whole bunch of fancy friends. Well, I don't have a fancy friend. I don't have a fancy car. I don't have a fancy house. I don't have any of those fancy things. But what I do have, and it's the most important thing we'll ever have in this life, are relationships. Now, I'm not talking about relationships on Facebook, how many friends you have, or how many so-called friends you have on Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media networks there are. It's not about that. It's not even about how many acquaintances you have, or how many one-night stands you've had, or how many girlfriends or boyfriends you've had before you settled or something. No. Relationships are based on only three people, I think. My mom, my dad, and my brother. I don't know, for you it might be three different people, and that's all good and well. But you know what? I've come to realize that to really live life to the fullest, you gotta be working and developing and pushing the boundaries of the relationship to the people that matter the most. If I have 30 days to live right now, what would matter the most to me? My family. Simple. My family would matter the most to me. It's not about having 30 days to live. It's about knowing that I will die happily, resonating with internal joy and internal abundance and internal magnificence, and transcending my life to a whole new level. And that's what it's about. It's about resonating this pure energy, this pure abundant flow of whatever you want to call. I call it energy, spiritual healing, if you will. And it's so thought-provoking to look at things in this way and say, well, you know what, these things don't matter to me, but these things do. And it's not things, it's these people. Because at the end of the day, in all honesty, if these are my last 30 days, as I said, and I did have a fancy car, and I did have a fancy watch, and I did have a fancy house, and I did have all these fancy friends, would they matter? Would they matter? I don't think so. My watch wouldn't say, "Cheers, John. Thanks for buying me. Yeah, I had a nice time walking around with you. I had a great life on your wrist." Would my watch say that? No. Would my fancy car say, "Oh, thanks for putting on all these miles. You know, I really enjoyed the unleaded fuel and the sights we saw together"? Would that matter? No, it wouldn't. You know, but what would matter would be, and ultimately would be, is my family, my mom, my dad, my brother, because I matter to them. And that resonates with me. I matter to them. And that's the most important thing. I just have to resonate with those three people, because their relationships in my life are more meaningful and more bountiful than anything. So there it is. In order to transcend in life, you have to look past and go beyond the surface level issues and truly master the most valuable and the most influential key relationships to you. And stop listening to everybody else and stop focusing on what is the norm and what is the status quo, and start focusing on yourself. Only then will you truly transcend to living a life and the life that you desire. Again, to truly transcend to the life you want to live, focus on the relationships that matter the most. Only then will you be able to know that you've done and lived and fulfilled and become abundant and magnificent in your life.